Hey guys, and welcome to my new yarn studio. This is a crazy huge room compared to where I was before. So as you can see, I have my pillow wall all set up. So today is the day I'm going to be unpacking all of my yarn and organizing it and getting it up on the shelves so I can start using it again. I'm actually doing a yarn collab with a really awesome yarn dyer. So I need to get to my yarn. It's time. So let me take you on a little room tour before we make this place a disaster again. So walking into my yarn room here, I have a big table. I'd like to get a way bigger table so I can wind yarn and block all sorts of stuff on here. These are my new light fixtures that I had to order special European size bulbs for, so those will replace these ugly boob lights soon. Anyway, my cat food is here because our kitchen is non-existent right now. So yeah, speaking of my kitty. Hi, lovey. You want to say hi? How you doing? Oh, hello. And we have my little books here. Singular book. Very soon this is going to be filled with something else. Here's my little corner of my incense and bones, and I haven't really unpacked any decorative stuff yet, but we will get there. And then over here I have my photo studio where I do all my close-up shots for patterns and such. And then something I don't show very often is all of the other projects that I have here. All of my placemats, table runners, scarves, bags, coasters, more little bags, bigger stuff, wall hangings, and yeah, eventually that's going to be a closet. Right now that just goes straight into my son's room. And of course the pillow wall. And I have plenty of room up here to add some more. And finally my secretary is being used as a secretary. Wow. This thing has held everything other than like paperwork and stuff, so cool thing I get to use it. Here, I'll show you. It's one of these guys that opens up. And lots of secret stuff in there. Anyway, this is what we are going to be filling up today. This is my yarn storage unit with my, I decided to put all my skulls up there. So although I painted all of the walls black, it's turned into kind of like a purple dream here with these ombre curtains. And I know a lot of you were like mad that I painted over the woodwork, but let me assure you, this is not original woodwork at all. This is something like a more recent homeowner did to this house, so that's why I decided to paint it. I could have taken the whole thing down and put it up more 60s appropriate woodwork, but that's way too much work. So I am embracing all of this, and if you don't want to see me paint over woodwork, you probably don't want to watch any of my other rooms because it's going to get crazy in here. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna start taking these all out and organize them on the floor here and see what we're working with. Okay, so this thing right here is actually filled with yarn, and I have not opened this in at least 3 years, so I have no idea what's in here. It's gonna be an experience. There's gonna be a lot of yarn I think I'm going to possibly donate or give away to you guys if you're interested. But just to keep some surprises going, I'm going to save this box for last. Although I would love to dump all this out on the floor, I can't. It's going to be a hot mess if I do that. So we're just going to, I don't know. Oh God. And I knew this was going to happen. I have random tags in here that aren't connected to yarn anymore. So, oh God. Woo. Here's me feeling the yarn to figure out what the heck brand this is or what it even is because the tag is long gone. Oh, we're gonna have some problems. All right, one bag down. We've got an enormous mountain of Barocco vintage. And then we have some universal and other wool stuff that I don't really use. And then Universal Cotton Supreme, I have a giant pile over here, which I didn't even realize I had that much of. And then we have the Leaning Tower of Cascade Pacific. And back there, all the Bernat Velvet. On to bag number 2. Already this bag stresses me out because there's they're like one-offs that don't go in any of these. Don't eat the yarn! Stop! No! Would you like that one? Would you like this? Ow! Oh, okay, it's yours. Demon kitten. One off. Lady, what are you doing? Hey. Oh, that's definitely a one off. What do you think you're doing? Really? And here's my progress so far after the second bag has been unpacked. We have a few more piles and they're all kind of coming together here. So yeah, what do you think, kitty? Stop eating the yarn. No. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this quick because she's eating the yarn. Yeah, this is a fun box to unpack. There's some fun stuff right on the top. Yay, I found my little Rico roomies. Look at these little babies, they're so cute. And this guy has started to come undone. I tried to play with raffia yarn for mosaic crochet, and I don't know, maybe I'll try again at another time. Got my furry yarn for all the yarn trim. I got some very, very weird things in here. More Rico roomies. And a basket of metallic yarn. Oh, yay. And now we're into, yes, finally I'm getting to my hand-dyed yarn. So let's see, maybe I won't unpack this because it's already packed in a box. Yes, hand-dyed yarn time. I think I'm just going to move these boxes to the table and get them out of the way, and we can start figuring out what goes on what shelf. So we all know what's in here. I'm not going to open it yet. I'm going to hopefully find a basket that I could dump all this into, but this box is busting at the seams. I'm shocked that I got it all in here, but yeah, let's put this aside. Okay, I think I know what's in this box. It's a lot of yarn I haven't used in a very long time, so let's get at it. First we have a basket. The only acrylic, oh no, there's more acrylic in here. So we've got kitty knits, which I was in love with for a little while, and then like I had a hard time finding, so I stopped using it. But it's actually not a bad acrylic. And then also sad, we got some big twist in here. And I was saving a lot of this just to do swatches and stuff, but now that my husband is using all of my swatches to make other things, I gotta use better yarn in better colors. And we have a bunch of I Love This Cotton, which I don't use anymore. I have a lot of that. Oh, some swatches for my husband are in here. Ooh. Oh, does this look familiar at all? It's my first tutorial. And we have some paint box that I don't use anymore because it's all Aran weight, or how do you say it? Aran weight? Aran weight? I don't know. Yeah, I don't use thick yarn like that anymore, so that's why that's in here. Ooh, a notebook. Oh, geez. Huh, I just found my first pattern book. I had no idea this was in here. That's fun. And of course you're in here. We crochet. We don't crochet. You can go away. And that's it. I'm done unpacking. Other than the junk yarn that I will deal with later. So I guess I will categorize all this stuff and make sense out of it. And yeah, I'll get back to you. I don't think so, kitty. No way. No way. Nope. I can't believe I trusted you with all of this overnight. Are you gonna be good? Okay, so this is day 2 of yarn organization. I got a little distracted yesterday because our neighbor popped by to introduce herself, which is really cool. It's nice to meet the people that live around us. So this morning I went ahead and put little sticky notes on all of these little compartments here just so I know what's gonna fit. I had to reorganize it a few times because some piles are not going to fit in one cubby, so I had to make some adjustments, but I think I'm happy with the placement of everything right now. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and start putting these in here, and unfortunately I can't do like a rainbow wall like everyone else does because my brain doesn't work that way. I have all of my wool yarn is going to be on the left side, and all of my cotton yarn is going to be over there, and I have this kind of, these little shelves here that I'm going to put kind of like my weird and fun yarn. Alright, this is where I'm at with the yarn. I actually decided to just shove all of the yarn that is supposed to go in each of the cubbies just temporarily in their spots. And then I'm gonna take some time and organize each one of these to be their own little rainbow. So yeah, that'll be fun. I also want to deal with this junk yarn box, and I really think it might fit exactly like that so I don't have to dump the yarn in. I'm gonna try and put that whole box into this guy right here. Ta-da! Alright, let's see. I really think it's gonna fit. But maybe I'll cut these off. Well, that worked out well. Oh, I'm definitely going to fix this too. This is really in bad shape. So eventually, oh, and because I rarely ever talk about it, this is actually the Deco Diamond pattern that I released in probably 2020. And the pattern actually includes instructions to make like a ottoman cover like this. So yeah, if you're interested in that, it's out there. And I need to go through some of these. I have some bags of scrap yarn left over from skeins that I don't want to throw into the junk yarn bin because I always like run out of black and run out of white, and I'm always looking for it. So what I'm going to do is put all these little like partial skeins in like a Ziploc bag and hide them behind the pretty wall of colors. So that's what we're going to do. So I've been kind of doing my rainbow order from brown to red to yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, and then swooping around, and we're going to do white and black. And that is because most of the colors I use are on the back end of the spectrum, so these end up being on the top when I organize it like that. And then I have my black and my white easily accessible at the very top, so that's the reasoning behind this whole rainbow setup here. I'm going to put Cascade in these two cubicles here, and I think I'm just going to carry the yarn across both of them because that is one section. So yeah, let's do it. Now I'm not sure how much I like this. I might want to do warm colors, cool colors. I don't know, we're gonna leave it like this for now. Okay, so this took absolutely all day to organize. It's nighttime already, and so I'm actually not done. I have that big black bag that I had in the corner. I just organized all of this, and I was actually planning on getting rid of paint box cotton, but when you have almost the entire range of colors, I gotta keep this. Even if I'm not going to use it for mosaic crochet, this is too much to get rid of. I'm going to do something cool with these, so maybe I'll put them in baskets and put them away. Also, I have this Hobie rainbow cotton yarn, which is almost exactly the same as the paint box yarn. So I'm actually going to just put all of these guys together in the same thing just to get it all out of the way, because I don't use either one of those anymore anyway. So okay, I am officially done with organizing all of the yarn. So now I can finally show you what I got here. So everything on this shelf is obviously stuff that I use, stuff that I would recommend for mosaic crochet, and hopefully you can get some good recommendations from some of the stuff that I have here. Let's start with Plymouth. This is their superwash. I think it's called Select yarn. I like this one for pillows. It's got a very unique texture to it. There's like multiple tiny little strands that are spun together, and it makes for like very, very nice mosaic crochet pillows. And then we have my hand-dyed yarn collection here. I didn't want to do any multiple layers of things, but those I haven't wound yet. So yeah, you can kind of see I do have a really awesome rainbow going on here of all my hand-dyed yarn. Just put that back up there. Yeah, this is going to be, I want to do maybe a rainbow project with all of those. Take that sign off. And then we have Universal Cotton Supreme. And I did throw some Premier cotton in here as well because I am convinced it is the exact same yarn. I really like the quality of this cotton yarn, especially for placemats, table runners, all sorts of things. And I just bought these colors for a Halloween project that I plan on doing, maybe the next video. And then we have my metallic yarn section here. Most of this is ice yarns and Hobie Metallico. Yeah, I desperately need more metallic yarn because I love metallic. And in this little section here, we have our Rico Rumi yarn, which is just the most adorable yarn in the entire world. It is so cute, and yeah, this isn't worsted, and I don't know, I've fallen in love with this kind of yarn, and it's a DK weight, but I use like a super thin hook with it, and I feel like it comes out fantastic for mosaic crochet, especially like little wall hangings and things. And then we have my little DIY glow section, and I stuffed some little Rico Rumis in here because those two are glow-in-the-dark yarn. And I have room for plenty more. In case any of you know of any more glow-in-the-dark yarn, let me know. And then, ooh, my glitter yarn section. These, I showed a little bit earlier. These are great for adding a single strand to a regular strand of yarn. So as you're crocheting, you're adding like these little glittery sequins and stuff. This one's also, it's a Lang yarn. Let's see. There you go. There's that one. And then I have a few that have some of this, I think it's Stellina yarn? I might be wrong. But these little fibers in there that have little sparkles in there, and this is merino wool. And then we have my Bizarro, my super weird yarn section, which is filled with just absolutely weird textures and fun stuff that I'm excited to experiment a whole lot more with. And then my tiny little fur yarn section, and this is all trim for adding faux fur around the edge of pillows, and I desperately need some more of that. And then we have two Barocco vintage sections here. This is all just like full skeins here, and then ones that I had started using. And then hiding behind there I have like partial skeins back there too. But I use Barocco vintage for a ton of stuff. It's a really good everyday kind of yarn. It is a acrylic and wool blend, and it lasts very well, and I like it, so I would recommend it. And then over here we have my other cotton yarn, which is, as you can see, some gradients and self-striping and some fun stuff here. And then moving down here, I have Barocco modern cotton. This is awesome for placemats and table runners. This is a cotton that also has modal in it, so it's got a little bit of a sheen. It holds up super well for projects that you use a whole lot of. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that. I have so much Barocco modern cotton that I had to put the rest of it down in here, the skeins that I haven't made into cakes yet. And then we're gonna move over here, and we have Cascade Nifty Cotton. I haven't been using this one as much, but as you can see, I have a ton of colors, and it is pretty fun to use, so I'm gonna keep using it. And yeah, it's kind of a thicker yarn, but yeah, I do like it for a lot of cotton projects. And then we're gonna move over here to Cascade 220 Superwash Merino Worsted. Oh, the name. I use this yarn a lot. You can't really see it, but the black is all up in there. But I use a lot of their black yarn is really great for pairing with hand-dyed yarns and other brands. I don't use a lot of their colors, but their black and their white I use like constantly. And then over here I have my random Barocco yarn, which is, let's see if I can remember, we have Wizard Sesame Remix. So a lot of really awesome fun yarns that you might see a lot more of later on. And then down here we have Malabrigo Rios, and also one little tiny thing of Malabrigo Rasta that I had left. I haven't, again, been using a lot of this yarn. I keep buying it because it's very affordable and it's really pretty. I just have a hard time. Sometimes the colors tend to be like they look great on the skein, but then they're a little muddy and muted, and I really like brighter colors. But the texture of the Malabrigo yarn is just like nothing else. It is super soft. And like I said, for a merino wool, this was my go-to in the very beginning when I first started, because it is very affordable. And then we're gonna move over to the two sections of Cascade Pacific that I have here. Love using this for mosaic crochet blankets. Holds up super well. Has gorgeous colors. Lots of neons, like lots of bright, fun colors. Like I said, durable. Love it for projects that also get a lot of use, but you want it to be soft as well. And then I had Barocco Pima 100 up a little further, but I'm not a big fan of their colors, and actually the big bright pops of colors in here are not they're not Pima 100. This one and this one, and I think that one are Malabrigo's cotton, which is Verano, but it's pretty much the exact same type of like Pima cotton, where it drapes. This is like really good stuff for if you want to make flowy scarves or things that drape a whole lot more. These are fantastic for that. But yeah, the colors are kind of meh, so I have them a ways down. And then down here, surprise, surprise, I have like my DK weight yarn and some thinner ones. Like, oh my god, who is she? She's not using worsted all the time. So there's a mix of stuff in there, and like I said, my the rest of my Barocco Modern Cotton is gonna be back here. Hopefully I won't forget that it's there. And then we have Burnett Velvet. These were bought specifically for a project that I haven't finished yet. It's the Wild Leopard blanket that I started that I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to like continue making it or turn it into something else, so we will see. This is the rest of the velvet and chunky yarn that I have. Some mixed brands in here too, like this one's from Hobie. This one was really great for making the spiderweb bag. And then last but not least, down here we have my other wool, and I have vintage chunky back there as well, because I need to keep it separated from everything else, because I hate when I'm like, oh good, I have plenty of white or black, and then I'm like, oh no, it's the bulky one, I can't use that one. So this is all of my universal wool, and also Stitch Please wool is in here, which I'm planning on just using for making swatches for patterns, because I'm not a huge fan of the texture. Also, they don't have a pure black or a pure white, so what am I gonna do with this brand? They're good for making swatches, so that's my plan. And over in this corner, I'm going to have to find another location, but these are all the paint box cotton yarns and the Hobie rainbow cotton yarns that I decided to put away. And Mom, if you're watching, don't worry, I have a bag of yarn for you for when you do come and visit. It is all yours. And if you've stuck around this long, you guys have an opportunity to get some yarn for free. So right here, I have some very nice acrylic yarn. Like I said, I don't use acrylic yarn anymore, and I really liked this brand, but I could only find it in one location in Massachusetts, and as you know, I don't live in Massachusetts anymore. So yeah, if anybody is interested in this collection of very nice acrylic yarn, comment down below, kitty please. And then we have a tower of Hobby Lobby yarn, and like I said, I used to use them, but a lot of people were complaining that their company is a little controversial, and I'd rather not upset anybody, so I'm just not going to use this yarn anymore. I found other yarn that I like better anyway, so there's a whole lot here, and I'm going to throw in this as well. So if you would like, these are not like full skeins, they're maybe like half skeins, but there's a bunch of them here. If you're interested in this pile of yarn, comment Hobby Lobby please. And then over here, I have Premier cotton yarn. It's hard to see, but we have 6 skeins of black. One of them is like a half skein, and then one of white. I'm not a big fan of the texture. This is a recycled cotton yarn. It's nice, but I like cleaner stuff for mosaic crochet. So, but this is like perfectly good yarn for any other kind of project. So if you're into this one, comment Premier please. And then we have paint box yarn. I was using some of this for making swatches. This one is a heavier yarn, so I'm not a big fan of it. Like it's a thicker worsted weight yarn if I could compare it to anything. But we've got 4 blues here. This one's a little bit light, but this one's full, this one's almost full. So if you're interested in these, comment paint box please. And these I really wasn't sure about, but I don't use this brand anymore, and it is way too expensive for me to put into my scrap bin. This is all Madeline Tosh yarn, and it's all hand dyed. The texture is different from all the other yarns that I use. I used to love this, but I really can't pair it with anything else. So I would like to just move on from this. You guys can have it. There's some very interesting yarn in this section here. But if this is all merino wool, and if you're interested, comment Madeline Tosh, please. And then this lonely boy right here. I bought at a local yarn festival, fiber festival, and it's from a local dyer, and it's also hand spun, so it's 2-stranded. It is wool, hand dyed. I don't have anything else to pair this with, and the texture is just different from everything else that I use, so I would rather have somebody else use this. So if you're interested in this one, comment Lonely Skein, please. So I will send these to the first person that comments, and if I don't get a response, I'll go to the second person that comments, and I will send these to you for free if you are in the US. If you are outside of the US, all I ask is for you to pay for the shipping. And that's everything. Thanks for going on this yarn organizational journey with me. I could finally get back to crocheting, and like I said, I have another pattern coming up very, very, very soon. Announcement in like the next 2 days, so stay tuned for that. And the next video is actually going to be a really fun Halloween crochet along project. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.